What's happening, camera nerds? My name's Cory Mayo, and in today's video, we're taking a look at Canon's 15 to 35. This is gonna be my 2-year long-term review of this lens, and it has been a workhorse in my videography and photography work. I'm a photographer out of Fresno, California, and I shoot this on my Canon R5, my Canon R6 Mark II, and the Red Komodo, and this has just been a great lens to my setup. So I'm gonna give you some of my thoughts on this lens, what I use it for, some practical use cases for it, and some other options out there from Canon that may be more useful than this one. A little bit of specifications on this lens: weighs about 2 pounds, comes in right around the $2,200 mark, features an auto focus, manual focus lens, and a stabilizer on and off switch. It's got an 82mm filter thread. Focus travel is not super far. And yeah, just love the filter thread, 82mm. I have a lot of ND filters for that, and UV protector filters, so that's great. Great size. This gets a good amount of use in my kit, especially for, talking to camera type stuff, vlogs, just run and gun type stuff, gimbal work. This is gonna be a great option if you guys are running gimbal. I run this all the time on the DJI Ronin R3S Pro with my R5 or my Red Komodo. And yeah, for Red Komodo use for video, since that is a Super 35 sensor, 15 to 35 is gonna be a really good focal length for getting your wides. It comes out to around the 24 to 70, 24 to 60 type look. So that's gonna be a great option if you guys have a crop sensor Red Komodo camera. And yeah, this was pretty much my first lens that I picked up for the Canon RF system. I just knew that I was gonna need this focal range 15 to 30. 35 is enough punched in for me. I don't really, sit, too long into the mid-range, like 50mm type range. So 35 is close enough for most cases. And then if I need to punch in more, I bring out the 70 to 200. And that's kind of my mid-range zoom lens. Or if I'm shooting events, obviously, I need that mid-range. I live in that more mid-range, so that I have a 28 to 70. So this is just a small part to my lens setup. This kind of completes my, holy trinity of lenses. I have the 15 to 35, the 28 to 70, and the 70 to 200, and that gives me all the focal ranges that I need. I just love this lens. It's just built really nice. One of Canon's best lenses that they've made. This is part of their L series lenses, so this has a lot of the coatings that you're gonna find on this. The build quality, it's got a fluoride coating on the front, prevents smudges and stuff, which is great. I always run a UV protecting filter on the front of my lenses. This is the HGX Prime UV. You just get a nice UV protective filter. You don't want to end up scratching your very expensive $2,000 plus lenses, and so I always run those. This is a really sharp, fast focusing lens. I've had the 24mm 1.8 prime, doesn't focus as fast as this. I've had the 50mm, nifty 50, doesn't focus as fast as this one. There's a couple lenses in the Canon lineup that have that wide range capability. They have a 10 to 20 f4, which is extremely ultra wide. Very interesting lens, very expensive as well. But for me, 15 to 35 is gonna be the range that a lot of people are gonna find the most useful. 15 is plenty wide. I don't think I really need anything much wider than 15mm. And 35 is a good enough punch for me for photo and event work. Usually I have this strapped to like a Canon R5, and then I have a Canon R6 Mark II with a 70 to 200. And that's gonna give you your ultra wides, your punched in 35, and then you have your zooms. And that's a really good, 2 lens setup if you're looking to shoot weddings and events. Myself, I shoot commercial content as well as weddings, and yeah, this has just been a workhorse. It's definitely the YouTuber lens, obviously. So if you're making YouTube videos, that ultra wide look is really popular on YouTube, and so that's going to get you those. But yeah, as well as just you could get some real estate stuff, some landscape photography. It's just a really versatile wide lens, and this is going to be a great option for you if you're looking to just have that all-in-one lens. Another competitors to this I have owned for a little bit was the 16mm 1.8 prime lens, and that honestly has focused just as well as this 15 to 35. I found that really useful. So if you're a little bit on a budget, I would recommend, and you only need that wide range, I would actually recommend the 16mm f1.8. It's really ultra light. It's gonna be great for gimbal work as well. But for me, I do need that versatility of having the 35 whenever I need it to punch in. So yeah, essentially I didn't really need a prime lens. I used it a couple times for some event work, just those establishing shots on the wide shot, just, you know, getting that wide landscape, you know, pan in. But other than that, I ended up having the lens at the beginning of the day, using it real quick to get the wide shot, and then just taking it off and throwing in the 28-70. With this lens, you know, doesn't live on my camera, but definitely gets a lot more use. And so I ended up selling the 16mm 1.8. Pros for this lens: 15-35. It's going to be a great focal range for a lot of people, especially if you're shooting on Super 35 cinema cameras, or if you have a crop sensor lens. This is going to be a great full frame lens that you can kind of, you know, grow into. And once you get those full frame cameras, this is still going to be great in your system. Another pro, it's going to be Canon's L lens, right? So this is going to be some of the best autofocus, the best sharpness, contrast that you can get from Canon. And yeah, another pro, build quality. Obviously, very, very nice. We got a nice control ring here on the front. I use all the time. I have this set to the aperture. Yeah, great stabilization, great autofocus, very smooth, very silent. Some of the cons: this does weigh in at 2 pounds. So if you have some entry-level gimbals, a DJI R3 Mini, some of those other gimbals that are a little bit smaller and you don't want to go to the big Ronin, this might not balance. You know, those are some things to think about. Or if you're just trying to keep a real nice compact setup, you know, and you only need that wide end, maybe the 15-35 is just a little bit too much more money for you. Maybe you should be getting the Canon 16mm prime lens. But yeah, if you're needing versatility, if you're shooting events and you find yourself, you know, making a lot of content on YouTube, vlogs, all kinds of stuff like that, this is just the tried and true 15-35 range. And I found this very, very useful for my setup, you know, in conjunction with my Red Komodo, with my R5. This is going to be a great option for you. That's pretty much all the cons that I have for this. These are all the thoughts I have for the Canon 15-35. This is just going to be my 2-year review of this lens. Still sticking with it. You know, some of the other lenses I have my eye on, definitely want to try out the 10-20. I think it's like f4. That one seems very interesting. But other than that, I do end up using the 2.8. So I need the 2.8, especially for low light stuff. This comes in handy all the time. So yeah, 15-35 definitely gets a recommendation. And total side note, let me know if you guys are digging this whole look of this lens that I'm filming on. This is the famous Helios lens, 44mm, and I have this modded out. I have a couple mods that I purchased from Iron Mod. It's got like the anamorphic flares. It's got the red tint. Just a real fun lens. So let me know if you guys have any questions about that. I'm thinking about doing a review on this. It's got a nice, you know, metal housing, and it's all cine mod. It's got the gears, very cool. And I'm using the PD Movie Smart Focus System, and this is like really, really smart, very cool, and really fast. So if you guys are interested in a review of that, let me know down in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys next one.